United stand, it is our call-in after the Liverpool versus Manchester United annihilation, I would say. Adil says, what are the board waiting for? Jose Mourinho has come out and basically come out with a shocking excuse. If anybody saw it, I was talking towards the end of it on my match reaction. He said that Liverpool, in effect, were lucky. Liverpool were lucky to win that game because although he said the 2 goals that won it for them were lucky, and actually at that point Liverpool was starting to panic because their centre-backs were coming forward and shooting from 30 yards, and we were just ready to take control of the game and win it then. I don't know. You know, I do not know what planet he's on about. But yeah, Liverpool probably got a little bit lucky, but they had over 30 shots on goal. If you take shots at goal, eventually one will go in. But I'm joined by George. Evening, George. How you doing?
How you doing, Mark? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I know you were eager to come on first of all. So give us your thoughts, pal.
Right. I mean, overall, it's pretty much a disaster. But to be honest with you, it's not something that I'm shocked by. I mean, watching kind of games where we've fallen to bits previously, you kind of sit there and you think, oh my God, I can't believe it. But I mean, this game beforehand, I could see it coming. You know, the form that Liverpool are in and the lack of form that we've got, or just the lack of kind of excitement or attacking danger. It's just something that, to be honest with you, I'm sat back and I'm thinking, I saw it coming. You know, that is what should have happened, and that's what happened. So, you know, I'm struggling for a positive at the moment, other than the fact that we didn't concede more than 3.
Adil says, how is Mourinho still in a job? What is your theory now? Because I certainly don't think he's going to be sacked. So, you know, what's your theory on what United are actually planning on doing?
I mean, at the moment, I've been saying Mourinho out for absolutely ages now. And to be honest with you, my stance on it hasn't changed whatsoever. But I think when we went through that period of when we came back and beat Newcastle 3-2, there was the feeling changed a little bit around the club in the sense that it was a lot more positivity floated about. And people, you know, a lot of the Mourinho outers were kind of changing to say, look, I don't know, maybe this is the turning point. And we've heard that those 2 words flying around a little bit, turning point. We've had so many of them apparently. But from the club's point of view, I agree with you. I don't think that they're going to get rid. A financial point of view has been mentioned a lot of times in terms of, you know, can we afford to, or do we want to afford to get rid of Mourinho? But I think it gets to a point where, being realistic, you know, we're going to need to do something, because at the moment we are literally spiralling downhill, and it's going to get to a point where I'm not going to say we're not going to be able to repair the situation we're in, but it's going to take, I think the longer we leave it now, the longer it's going to take to repair the situation we're in and get back up to where we should be as, you know, Man United as a club.
I think the thing for me is that I sit here tonight and fans should protest at the Lowry Hotel, says Mourinho out, says Hot Stepper. The thing for me is that this game in isolation. I think we've took 6 points from our last 6 games, which is relegation form. And I just see Liverpool fans, and they are absolutely buzzing, but they are our biggest rival, and it absolutely kills me to be in this position tonight where they're nearly 20 points ahead of us. We're so far off 4th place. And nothing's happening at the club. They're just like, oh well. That's the thing that irritates me the most. It's the oh well attitude, where I think any big club with any aspirations, they would have sacked him a long time ago. And yet here we are, embarrassed by our biggest rival, and we know he's going to survive.
Exactly, I agree completely. I mean, look at Real Madrid. They're a club where, depending on what position they're in, if they are not winning absolutely everything and playing ridiculously good football, they're like, okay, well, it's not good enough. Their expectations are so high. And to be honest with you, as a Man United supporter, I'm sure lots of people will agree that's kind of where our expectations are and where they should be. And I think there's so many of these supporters and you know, pundits even, that are kind of saying, well, yeah, I mean, these are the players that they've got. This is the situation they're in. And, you know, they're just going to have to kind of try a bit better to make it better. But where we're at with the players, where we're at with the manager, we're in a situation where it's not just going to sort itself out and, oh, okay, hopefully it'll get better after Christmas. I personally don't think that's a solution. Looking at teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, for example, that we should be mentioned in the same bracket. So why aren't we as ruthless in terms of changing things, players and managers, with kind of getting rid. I mean, Roy Keane, perfect example. He said the players aren't good enough after this game, and I agree to a certain extent. Don't get me wrong. We've got some fantastic players in our club, but I agree to a certain extent with what Roy Keane said, in the sense that a lot of our players simply aren't that good. I mean, we've got Jesse Lingard, and we're not going to talk about his clothing line and all of this business, but he isn't a Man United starting player for me. And I think we've got too many players in and around the club who I could say that about. I mean, Smalling, the perfect example. Probably our most consistent centre half really over the last few years, and I can't really knock him for that. But there comes a point where you're thinking, okay, so Chris Smalling has just been given hundreds of thousands of pounds every week to play for Man United for 4 more years, and I think that really it sends out a message to not only the fans but every other team in the league to say that we're happy with this quality of player and we're happy with where we're at now. Let's continue, and that just simply is unacceptable from our point of view.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks for calling in, George. I really appreciate that, and please do call in again.
No problem. I'll speak to you soon, Mark. Thanks for having me on.
Cheers, pal. We are taking calls from people now. It will be on the Discord. The link is in the video description for that. I'm just listening to Gary Neville saying that he's saying that it goes deeper than the manager. Just changing the manager, what does that solve? Look, I've said this before. I'm not bothered about whether people are Manchester United legends or not. What Roy Keane did, what Gary Neville did on the pitch cannot be changed. They were some of the best years of my life supporting Manchester United. Absolutely love them. I don't have to listen to what they say. I don't have to agree with it. And I would urge you lot to make your own mind up. Just because someone's a legend doesn't mean you need to, lick their arse, effectively. I think it's totally wrong. Mourinho is the problem. He's the first problem of many at Manchester United. I do agree with Gary Neville that it goes deeper than that. But the most abundant, obvious thing at Manchester United at the moment is we ain't going to move this board out easy. That's going to take time. That's going to take people with money. That's going to take people with the right vision for what Manchester United should be. That could take years. But what could take minutes is to remove the manager. The board may be wrong. And the board, for me, got it wrong backing Moyes, Van Gaal, Mourinho. Totally the wrong managers for Manchester United. But what the board are not responsible for is sending a team out to Old Trafford to play like that. And Old Trafford and Anfield today. The way he plays football is atrocious. And, he keeps going on about this centre-back thing, but he's had 2 centre-backs. He's had Lindelof, he's had Bailly, he's had Alexis Sanchez, he's had Paul Pogba, he's had Lukaku, he's had Matic, he's had Fred. Fred cost £50 million. Lukaku cost nearly 90 in add-ons. Pogba cost 90 million. Today, we had £140 million worth of midfield talent not even playing a minute, and they're both fit. That's a failure. That is a failure. £140 million worth of midfield talent, not even using it. And he bought both of them. He's a frigging failure at Manchester United. And he has the cheek to say, I need more money. I need more centre-backs. How many centre-backs do most teams play? 2. How many centre-backs has Jose Mourinho bought? 2. Why keep giving him more money? Why keep giving him more excuses? You would love Gary Neville's rant on Sky Sports, says Camilio10. Yeah, but is it a contradictory rant? It's his rant that kept Jose Mourinho in a job in the first place. What I like is what Ryan Giggs said. Apparently Ryan Giggs said this. If it's a fake quote, it's still a very good quote. He said, we used to have Cantona up front, turning bad balls into good balls. We've now got Lukaku up front, turning good balls into bad balls. What a sentence. Smash a like on the video, because that sentence sums it up for me. I said before the game, Lukaku has to hold the ball up today. Liverpool are going to attack us a lot. He's got to hold the ball up and relieve the pressure on the back four. He didn't do it. That's why Liverpool had over 30 chances, because it was relentless. And Mourinho can say Liverpool were lucky. They weren't. They just kept going and going and going. You cannot cry about luck when Alisson basically dropped the ball to Lingard to get the goal. You cannot cry about luck when a team is shooting and shooting and shooting and then 2 of them deflect in. That's not luck. That's a team trying to win a game of football. It's not luck. And Mourinho is there saying it is luck. Anyway, it isn't just about me. I do need to take some of your calls. So let's grab somebody and see what they've got to say. I'm going to try from here for a change. Rub-a-dub-dub. Who can we get on the show? I'm going to try you. Hello, can you hear me? You're live on the United Stand.
Yeah, hi.
How you doing, pal?
Hello?
Yeah, you're live. What do you want to talk about?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. What do you want to talk about, mate?
Oh, yeah. How you doing, Govers? Listen, I'm just totally disappointed with the team, man. I'm really, seriously, and I don't blame them. I blame Mourinho all the way. You know why? Because when you started the season, he started with such a bad mentality. You see all these other managers like Klopp, like Pochettino, like Emery, you know, they all started with this positivity, and you see him come up with all these negative ideas that, yeah, you don't have the necessary transfers, the market, you know, all of this stuff. And it's like totally impacted the players. You know, like today you saw them, like they weren't pushing. They know it's an important game. They weren't going for it. You know, it was like totally disgraceful, totally disappointing, you know. And besides that, the way that he set up the team, like how are you going to put Darmian? Like he hasn't played since God knows when, and all of a sudden he shows up. You know what I mean? Like for a setup for Liverpool, you definitely need, like, first of all, you need experience. Then you need youth, you know? So like I personally, what I would do, I would have put maybe Valencia, sure, Bailey could play, put Rojo in, you know? But don't put people that haven't been playing, that haven't been on the team for such a long time, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm extremely disappointed with the way the team played out today.
Jose Mourinho says top four is still on, where a hole has just put the comment in there. And he says, what's he smoking? I mean, Mourinho came out after the game. He said Liverpool were lucky because we were just about to get in control of the game and win it. And he also said that we can still get top four. We're 11 points off top four. Is that realistic, or is he just, you know, clutching at straws?
There is no way. I mean, we pretty much played every other team already in the league, you know. And like to reach top four at this point with the mentality the club has, with the spirit that they have right now, there is completely impossible. You know, he doesn't have a set 11. He doesn't have the changes that he does are always defensive. There's no sense of attack. Like you said, like if it weren't for Rui Faria, like where would this guy be? You know, seriously, because he seems like to be the only one that actually set up a defensive block for the team. And now you don't have that. You don't have attack. You don't have a midfield. You have the giraffes on midfield that don't do absolutely anything, you know. So no, there's no way we're reaching top four.
I've asked this question. Do you really think that Manchester United will sack Jose Mourinho? Or, I mean, Gary Neville's just said it. He thinks he'll be here to the end of the season. And how do we get through the rest of the season with this man in charge? Because he's irritating me. I've got to be honest. Every time I see him.
Yeah. Seriously, I really don't know. I mean, I would hope to God that they actually sack him, like Woodward, the way he was looking at him in the game. Like, God damn, you got to go. I hope that they actually do. But if he stays, this season is totally done. If like that, it's already done. I doubt it'll go anywhere any further if he continues on.
Thanks for calling in, mate. Really, really appreciate it. And please do call in again.
Yeah, thank you.
You know what happens to me? I'm going to take a few more calls because I really, you know, want to take as many calls as possible tonight. And I want to read some of the live comments as well. John Allen says, "Take the Allen, move on." Yeah, John, you know, we'll take it. You know, what I would say though is, look, I know we've got fans of other clubs here, so let me just give you something that you clearly want. We are a joke as a club, right? But you are, all of you, whether you're Spurs, Chelsea, City, Liverpool, well, Arsenal, you know, you're all better than us. You can all banter us. So there you go. Facts, you know. And Liverpool are in a title race. There you go. That makes you feel better, I know. These are all facts. We cannot do without that. But what I would say is that I've never been a fan who gets wound up by other fans trying to banter me. I don't. And the reason I don't, and I know Arsenal fans are the kings of being bantered, but I don't get wound up by it because I am furious with my club and I am furious with what's going on and I'm totally accepting of the fact that we are crap. So I can't be bantered by rival fans coming on going, ha, you lost 3-1, because I know we lost 3-1 and I know that we're crap and I'm furious about it with my club. I can't defend it, so I can't be bantered about it because I'm not feeling bantered. I'm feeling embarrassed and I'm feeling angry with my football club. So well done to Liverpool. You were by far the better team. And our club is a bloody embarrassment. But I tell you what, I don't think there's a chance that Jose Mourinho is going to get the sack. But there is part of me inside, and I don't know how you lot feel, there's a part of me inside that's just thinking, well, maybe, just maybe tomorrow, because I don't know, it won't be tonight. Maybe tomorrow there'll be some sort of rumour that he's going to get the sack. And then maybe tomorrow about 5 o'clock, they'll sack him. And what a Christmas it's going to be. And that is sad to say that, but I'll be absolutely ecstatic if he gets sacked. Absolutely ecstatic. It would make my Christmas in a footballing sense. I would love him to get sacked. It excites me to think they might sack him. You know that Friday night before the Newcastle game, was it at the start of October? And they were all saying he's going to be sacked. I was so excited. They've made a bloody mistake. They've made an absolute mistake. And you know what? In fairness to Liverpool, Liverpool are where Manchester United should be. That's where we always were. Exciting, risk-taking, attacking football, relentless. Full-backs bombing forward, a mix of British talent, a mix of good talent, you know, on the front foot, pressing, centre-backs pressing, and a passionate manager, a fan base United. They are what United used to be like. What are we now? Stoke, 2009. Shit. That's what we are. Anyway, let's take another call. We can come back, though. The minute they change the manager is the minute that we might get a little bit of positivity. Hello, can you hear me? You're live on the United Stand.
Oh, hello? Yeah, I can hear you.
Yep, I can see your name is Jose Out now. Are you Jose Out or are you Jose in? Tell us what you're thinking.
I just think that it's pathetic. You got to look at the levels between the two clubs, you know what I mean? Like, United bring on Fellaini, Liverpool bring on Shaqiri. It's just levels, you know, it's ongoing problems throughout, you know, the entire Mourinho regime at the club. Sorry for the voice crack.
Sorry.
And, you know, it's just embarrassing at this point. It's embarrassing. 36 shots to 6. It's pathetic at this point.
You mentioned the Fellaini substitution. I tell you what, obviously was doing the watch along. It was 1-1 at that time, and I saw that substitution, and we didn't know who he'd come on for a moment. And Marcus was saying, well, if it's for Lukaku, he's better than Lukaku. And I was like, you know what? I never want Fellaini on the pitch, but if it's for Lukaku, it's great. Then you see it's for Dalot, and I was just like, whatever happens in this second half, I think I even tweeted it, whatever happens in this second half, and I hope we win. I hope we scam a draw. But whatever happens, we're doing it in the wrong way. This is not Manchester United. Now, obviously, it went the way many of us thought it. But that was at half-time at 1-1. You bring Fellaini on so you've got someone to get on the end of long balls, and then you park the bus. It is shocking, isn't it? And I just don't know how he's still in charge.
I know. It's actually, you know, it's embarrassing for, like, the fan base, the club's identity and everything. It's humiliating at this point.
Do you think there is any prospect of him being sacked before the end of the season, or do you think he will continue now at Manchester United, a manager, and potentially, I suppose, improve, because it can't get much worse?
I think he'll stay till April, and then when it's mathematically impossible, he's out, and we're gonna have an interim till end of the season, and then someone will come in. I imagine.
It's interesting because Gary Neville does back Mourinho, but he did just say, I think Mourinho will be gone at the end of the season. I think everybody knows that, which, you know, makes you think, why wouldn't he? We've not mentioned this. I'm sure other people will start talking about it when they come on. But Paul Pogba's situation, what's your thoughts on that? Because, I mean, it doesn't matter what you think because, you know, it's your call, but it really is a 50-50. I mean, we had Ross on the preview saying, I agree with him being dropped. What's your thoughts on it?
He is a talented player. He's probably one of our best players at the club. But if his head's not all in it, then you shouldn't play him. I agree with Jersey on that.
And I think you're right. I think you're right on there. There must, you know, you didn't even bring him on today. You know, at Liverpool, Anfield, very, very difficult game. Your best player doesn't even give him a minute. That probably speaks volumes as to how broken their relationship is, and that's a problem to resolve for Manchester United as well.
Yeah, I know. It's just goes back to, you know, other clubs that Jose's been at. He always has to fall out with players before he gets sacked. I think it's the way he, like, handles himself and, you know, throws players under the bus. It just doesn't work in today's game. Saw it at Chelsea, you know. He fell out with, like, Hazard and all that, and, you know, they just stopped playing, and then he got sacked at Christmas at Chelsea.
Who do you just very quickly? Who do you think is going to last longer at Manchester United, Pogba or Mourinho?
Well, it probably is. Pogba's going to last longer. Obviously, I just think Mourinho. I don't think you can get rid of a big signing like Pogba in January. I just think that's a summer thing. But I don't know.
I understand. I feel your pain, mate. I feel your pain. Thanks for calling in, and please do call in again.
I will do. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, pal. Some very, very disappointed Manchester United fans out there, as I would expect. I mean, somebody just said it in the live comments there. Sometimes you've just got to embrace the banter. Look, if we've got fans of other clubs on, give it. You've got every right to give it. We used to give it out. If you can get somebody to bite on your banter, enjoy it. But I choose to embrace the banter because I'm just so angry and frustrated with the club that I ain't got time to be arguing with other clubs bantering us. There's more important things to focus on. And I just feel that I think the only focus for me now, I'm not clapping my hands, I'm not a seal. Ow, ow, ow. The only focus for me now is the board. What are you doing to solve the problems at our club? There are some elements in truth in what a lot of people are saying about why did they give Mourinho a new contract last January and then not totally back him in the summer. And I think there was some sort of breakdown then. And you look at Mourinho's attitude on the US tour that fed into the season. The amount he slagged players off, I think, has come back to bite him. He has lost not only the players, probably the boardroom, but he's also lost the fans now. How is a manager like that? And he also lost Rui Faria, which has prevented him from being able to go. The last 2 times Mourinho's been to Anfield, he shut Klopp out. 0-0 draws. You knew today he couldn't do it. So what's changed in the last 2 years with Mourinho? He hasn't got Rui Faria. So he's lost he's lost the person who made him relevant. He's lost the board. He's lost a lot of players. He's lost the fans. That's Mourinho. I've been Mourinho out for a long time now, 3 months. It's now, the ball is in the board's court. The ball is with the board. When you present everything together, how is he still in charge of this club? Who's got the decision to take Mourinho out of this club? Because Jose Mourinho should never resign. If you resign, you walk away from your payout. You would never resign. You must be sacked. The board are the people who must sack Mourinho. There is no justification for him to still be in this job. The worst case scenario I see is with Cardiff, Huddersfield and Bournemouth to come. Maybe he wins all 3. Then Newcastle, maybe he wins that. And he's like, I've won 4 games in a row. We're into January. We spend a bit of money on him because the club feel guilty. We win a couple of more games. Oh, maybe he can build something. He's the luckiest manager in the world to still be in a job. I think any club now would have sacked him. But the worst thing for us as fans is, what if we do start picking up a few results and they give him some money in January? We could end up with him next season. He's never going to get us where we need to be. We're never going to be league contenders with Mourinho in charge of Manchester United. But he might get really lucky and survive long enough that results sort of get a little bit better, that they think maybe he can turn it around. It's relentless in how long this is going on. And it concerns me, that does. But the reality is, the board manage the club. They have the power to sack this man. And at this moment in time, I cannot understand how he is still in charge of Manchester United. But we beat Fulham, says Celtic Warrior. Yep, so we're not getting relegated. If he gets sacked, he gets the lottery, says the Maharian's Closet. I personally do feel, and it's only a theory speculated by me, I think his behaviour over the last 6 months has been about the sack. Some of the things he comes out with is about getting the sack, because if he can poke them enough and they sack him, he walks away with a load of money. And I still think he thinks he can get the Real Madrid job. But look, it's regrettable what's happening to the club. Of course it is. It's very, very sad. But until they sack Mourinho and we start again, then until that point, we're just sinking even further. In fact, and that makes it difficult. It really does. It makes it difficult to be positive about anything. Hello, can you hear me? You're live on the United Stand.
Oh.
How you doing, pal? You all right?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, yeah. Hi, Mark. How are you doing, actually? I never expected this, but okay. No, so I was trying to talk about, you know, did we park the bus today, actually?
Well, yeah, we definitely did in the second half. I don't know what you thought.
Well, because I didn't watch the match today, but I was listening to your podcast or something like that. I don't care because my English is not that very good. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay.
And,
Well, okay. If I ask you a question, then, what is your thoughts on Jose Mourinho as Manchester United manager? Do you think he should get more time, or are you surprised that he's still here?
I'm surprised, just for one reason, because if you look at the legacy of Manchester United, we're a club that plays attacking football. We always have. Even with Van Gaal, we have played attacking football. And then this guy comes in our club, plays bad defensive football, and then like our board just doesn't mind. He won the Europa League, you know, and okay, can stay.
Yeah, to be honest, you say your English isn't that good. You probably surveyed the situation very, very well, because the club just seemed to be very relaxed about a situation that is officially our worst ever start to the Premier League. We are 19 points behind Liverpool, who are top. We are 11 points off fourth place. It is absolutely embarrassing. Where do you sit on the Paul Pogba situation? What do you think about that?
You know, he wants to be surrounded by allies. You know, everyone wants to be the right person. Like everyone